Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Welcome back. We are here in Bhagavad Gita 2.11.
Okay.
Yes, please read the verse.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Mhm.
Asochayan Anvashocastvam Pragyavadam Shavasase Gatasun Agatasunscha
Bhasate.
Nanusachanti Pandita. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief.
Mhm.
Those who are wise lament neither for living nor for the dead. Purport: The Lord at once took the position of the teacher and chastised the student, calling him indirectly a fool.
Mhm.
The Lord said, "You are talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned, one who knows what is body and what is soul, does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in the living nor in the dead condition." As explained in later chapters, it will be clear that knowledge means to know matter and spirit and the controller of both. Arjuna argued that religious principles should be given more importance than politics or sociology. But he did not know that knowledge of matter, soul, and supreme is even more important than religious formalities.
Mhm.
And because he was lacking in that knowledge, he should not have posed himself as a very learned man. As he did not happen to be a very learned man, he was consequently lamenting for something which was unworthy of lamentation.
Mhm.
The body is born and destined to be vanquished today or tomorrow. Therefore, the body is not as important as the soul. One who knows this is actually learned, and for him, there is no cause for lamentation, regardless of the condition of the material body. So, yes, in this verse, Krishna starts chastising अर्जुन उहाँले चाहिँ भन्नुहुन्छ कि तिमी साउन्ड चाहिँ लर्नर जस्तो गरिरहेछ तर तिमीले त यति पनि बुझिरहेको छैनौ कि सोल र म्याटरको त्यो डिफरेन्स पनि बुझिरहेको छैनौ सो तिमी एज अ फुल एउटा फुलले मात्रै यस्तो काम गर्छ पण्डितले यस्तो काम गर्दैन है भनेपछि पण्डितको अपोजिट के हुन्छ त्यो जनाइरहनु भएको छ अर्जुनलाई होइन डाइरेक्टली अनि यसमा त्यही हो knowledge भनेकै to know what is spirit and what is matter त्यो डिफ्रेन्सिएसन छुट्याउनु नै नलेज हो भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ यहाँ गर्नुभएको छ यसमा चाहिँ एकदमै स्ट्रङ पोइन्ट लागेको क्या मलाई चाहिँ यो कुरा बिकज एउटा मेरो कोट मेरो फेसबुकमा मैले कोटै राखेको छु कि आई एम अ स्पिरिचुअल बिइङ in the human body. So that's where I'm differentiating myself from my human body, right? So हामी आफैले आफूलाई चाहिँ छुट्याउन सक्नुपर्छ कि यो बडी भित्रको त्यो स्पिरिचुअल बिइङ चाहिँ म हो हैन नलेज नै त्यही हो अ लर्नेड म्यानले नै त्यही डिफ्रेन्सिएट गराउन सक्नुहुन्छ अफकोर्स म त्यस्तो रियलाइज सोल होइन एभ्री डे टु डे लाइफमा चाहिँ म आई फिल लाइक आई एम दिस बडी अफकोर्स but during the chanting sometimes when the chanting is really deep I get to separate the one listening at the back and the one chanting. I can separate those two things. Again, here duita I can separate one so that I is me actually. So it is so complex अनि यो चाहिँ एउटा हनी बाहिरबाट यस्तो मिठो चाहिँ यसरी खाने एकदमै गुलियो छ भनेर सुनाउन त सकिन्छ तर आफैले चाख्नुपर्छ कतिको गुलियो छ भनेर थाहा पाउनको लागि त्यस्तै लाग्छ यो कुरा चाहिँ हु एम आई एम अ सोल भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ इच पर्सनको आफ्नो रियलाइजेसन हुन्छ कि आफ्नो एक्सपिरियन्स हुन्छ कि अनि त्यहाँबाट बोलिन्छ यस गो अहेड
No, I mean, yeah, knowledge को real meaning के knowledge भनेको के त अब यो वर्ल्डमा हामीले material knowledge को different definition दिन्छ तर knowledge को definition as per Bhagavad Gita is the one who knows what is matter, what is spirit or soul, and what is the difference between matter and soul,
And to know the Supreme Lord as well.
and who is the master of these two, right? त्यसलाई बुझ्नु नै नलेज भन्छ कि जति नै ठुलो ज्ञाता भए तापनि if one laments to die, one does not have any idea what happens after death, that means that person does not have any idea about soul. That person is not known to be in knowledge के डेफिनेसन नै त्यही भनेको छ र डेफिनेसन अफ लर्नेड म्यान भनेको अघि जस्तै one who knows what is body and what is soul and does not lament for any stage of the body, either living or dead. So yeah, I mean अर्जुनलाई foolish भन्नुभयो उहाँले because he's not considering the essential nature of the soul.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we can go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. नात्वा एवहं जातुनासं नात्वं नेमे जनाधिप नात्वा नाचैव न भविष्यमा सर्वे वयम् अतः परम्. Translation: Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. Purport. Okay, this is a long one, purport matter. So we have to break down and then discuss in between. In the Vedas, in the Katha Upanishad, as well as in the Shweta Svatara Upanishad, it is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the maintainer of innumerable living entities in terms of their different situations according to individual work and reaction of work. Okay, that Supreme Personality of Godhead is also by his plenary portion alive in the heart of every living entity. Only saintly person who can see within and without the same Supreme Lord can actually attain to perfect and eternal peace. So यहाँ के भनिरहनु भएको छ, Supreme Personality of Godhead is the maintainer सबै कुराको र उहाँ चाहिँ इभन भित्र पनि हुन्छ, एभ्री लिभिङ एन्टिटी भित्र पनि हुनुहुन्छ र सबै जो पनि सेन्टली पर्सन जसले उहाँलाई भित्र र बाहिर देख्न सक्छ त्यो नै पर्फेक्ट र इटर्नल पिसमा रहन्छ. अब त्यो श्लोका राख्नु भएको छ, जुन श्लोकाले प्रभुपादले यो राख्नु भएको छ, नित्यो नित्यानाम चेतनश्चेतनानाम एको बहुनाम यो विदधाति कामान् तम आत्मास्थं येन नु पश्यन्ति धीरस् तेषां शान्ति शाश्वती नेतसेवाम्. The same Vedic truth given to Arjuna is given to all persons in the world who pose themselves as very learned but factually have but a poor fund of knowledge. The Lord clearly says clearly that He himself, Arjuna, and all the kings who are assembled on the battlefield are eternally individual living entities, both in their conditioned and in their liberated situation. So yeah, also the greatest Gaudiya Vaishnavहरूले follow गर्ने one of the philosophy is no. This is it कि हामी सेपरेट हुन्छौँ. हामी अहिलेको अवस्थामा पनि you are an individual soul, I am an individual soul, अहिले सेपरेट बडी पनि छ हाम्रो. And after we get liberation पाइसकेपछि पनि we remain separate. We don't go and mix to something else. Merge हुँदैन. We remain separate soul, individual soul. So हाम्रो भनिन्छ अझै कि शास्त्रमा हाम्रो आफ्नो सेवा सर्भिस छ माथि गोलोकमा जुन हामीले छोडेर यहाँ आइपुगेको छ मटेरियल वर्ल्डमा हैन. अनि सो आफ्टर वी आर नलेज, आफ्टर वी गेट पर्फेक्सन र हामी त्यही ब्याक जान्छौँ र त्यही सेवा कन्टिन्यू गर्छौँ र त्यहाँ पनि एज एन इन्डिभिजुअल हाम्रो सेवा छ टु कृष्ण अथवा हाम्रो पूजनीय जो हुनुहुन्छ उहाँसँग. सो दिस इज वाट वी लिभ हैन. यो फिलोसफी चाहिँ हाम्रो हार्ट हो गौडीय वैष्णव. अनि रातो लगाउने के अरे श्री वैष्णवहरू पनि आई थिङ्क उहाँहरूले नि यही फलो गर्नुहुन्छ. तर अरू सम्प्रदायहरूमा अलिक फरक पर्न सकिरहेको हुन्छ. यही कुराको चाहिँ डिफरेन्स पाइरहेको हुनसक्छ. कसैले भन्नुहुन्छ वी मर्ज आफ्टर लिबरेसन.
द्याट इज त्यो त मायावाद भइहाल्यो नि.
Yes, that is Mayavadi philosophy, but that is there, na?
Mayavad theory त्यहाँ पुग्यो
छैन.
Okay.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the supreme individual person, and Arjuna, the Lord's eternal associate, and all the kings assembled there are individual eternal person. It is not that they did not exist as individual in the past, and it is not that they will not remain eternal person. Their individuality existed in the past, and their individuality will continue in the future without interruption. Therefore, there is no cause for lamentation for anyone. Yes, I mean this is the main philosophy. जसले गर्दा म पनि आफ्नो मेरो जब मेरो हजुरमुवा मेरो एकदमै क्लोज पर्सन फर्स्ट टाइम कोही बित्नु भएको भनेको चाहिँ मेरो आफ्नै मुवा हुनुहुन्थ्यो अनि जब उहाँले शरीर छोड्नु भएको थियो मलाई त्यही एकदमै गाह्रो भएको थियो र एन्ड देन आई स्पोक विथ यु होइन अनि जब मैले भगवद् गीताको यो नलेज पाएँ त्यहाँ चाहिँ मैले के थाहा पाएँ भने ओके सी इज नट अब उहाँको एक्जिस्टेन्स मिटेको छैन उहाँ हुनुहुन्थ्यो अब नहुने होइन उहाँ मर्नु भएपछि सी डजन्ट एक्जिस्ट भन्ने कुरा इज रङ सी एक्जिस्ट समवेयर मेरो आँखा अगाडि हुनुहुन्न बट सी इज एक्जिस्टिङ समवेयर सो त्यो कुराले के यही आइडियाले चाहिँ मलाई एकदमै सोलेस फिल भएको थियो कि ओके सी इज स्टिल देयर समवेयर ओके डिफ्रेन्ट बडीमा हुनुहुन्छ बट सी इज स्टिल देयर भन्ने कुराले मलाई यति आनन्द आएको थियो कि आई कुड कम आउट अफ द्याट ल्यामेन्टेसन अफ लुजिङ हर इन माई लाइफ है सो अनि यो फिलोसफी वर्क्स फर एभ्री वान अफ अस like if we are lamenting for someone losing for someone and then lamenting then of course lamentation also we miss them and hamlai tyo emotion auncha but then back in the mind we should also know that they are not they did not disappear from the whole existence scenario they exist somewhere भनेर they have their life somewhere होइन उहाँहरू सानो बच्चा हुनु भइरहेछ तर सर्भ गरिरहनु भएको छ भगवान्लाई एनीवेयर बट दे आर देयर इन अ गुड प्लेस भन्ने कुरा
गुड प्लेस बिकज यु आर डुइङ भक्ति एटलिस्ट केही नभए पनि तपाईँले डिभोसनल सर्भिस गरिराख्नु भएको छ र हामीले लास्ट टाइम डिस्कस गरे जस्तै इफ हामीले राम्रो प्र्याक्टिस गर्छ डिभोसनल लाइफ भने हाम्रो माथिको 7 पुस्ता तलको 7 पुस्ता एटलिस्ट they get a good chance to go closer to Lord Sri Krishna. So so डराउनु पर्दैन हैन just because of us and it is a big responsibility for all of us as well to be more serious about the path we are in because we are not doing it for ourselves only, we are doing it for
when we do then it benefits
everyone in the previous to you upcoming to you, so it's always good.
Okay, moving forward, the
Mayavadi theory that after liberation the individual soul separated by a covering of Maya or illusion will merge into impersonal Brahman and lose its individual existence is not supported herein by Lord Sri Krishna, the supreme authority, nor is the theory that we only think of individuality in the conditioned state support herein. Krishna clearly says herein that in the future also the individuality of the Lord and others as it is confirmed in Upanishads will continue eternally. That statement of Krishna is authoritative. Krishna is authoritative because Krishna cannot be subject to illusion. If individuality were not a fact, then Krishna would not have stressed it so much, even for the future. The Mayavadi may argue that the individuality spoken of by Krishna is not spiritual but material. Even accepting this argument that the individuality is material, then how can one distinguish Krishna's individuality? Krishna affirms his individuality in the past and confirms his individuality in the future also. He has confirmed his individuality in many ways, and impersonal Brahman has been declared to be subordinate to him. Krishna has maintained spiritual individuality all along. If he is accepted as an ordinary conditioned soul in individual consciousness, then his Bhagavad Gita has no value as authoritative scripture. A common man with all the 4 defects of human frailty is unable to teach that which is worth hearing. Gita is above such literature. No mundane book compares with Bhagavad Gita. When one accepts Krishna as individual, ordinary man, Gita loses its all importance. Mayavadi argues that the plurality mentioned in this verse is conventional, and it refers to the body. But previous to this verse, such a bodily conception is already condemned. After condemning the bodily conception of the living entities, how was it possible for Krishna to have a conventional position on the body again? So
therefore, यसमा चाहिँ यो वर्स त्यही त यहाँ प्रभुपादले
हामी बडीलाई नै ठुलो बनाइरह्यो भने त कृष्णको के भ्यालु भयो त होइन? इफ ही अगेन इज स्पिकिङ अबाउट टेम्पररी body which is going to be finished very soon in death, so certainly he's not talking about that, right? Upcoming verses we'll see that he will bring the concept of soul, atma, right after this sloka. So definitely he's not just speaking about this temporary body.
So yes, यो श्लोकाले चाहिँ क्लियरली देखाउँछ उहाँको पनि इन्डिभिजुअलिटी रिमेन हुन्छ र हाम्रो एज एन आत्मा टाइनी सोल हाम्रो पनि इन्डिभिजुअलिटी रिमेन हुन्छ भनेर आफ्टर फ्युचरमा पनि पास्टमा पनि होइन अनि प्रेजेन्टमा पनि. सो मायावादीले आर्ग्यु गर्न सक्छ कि कृष्णले यो भनेको चाहिँ मटेरियल बडीको कुरा गरिरहेछ भनेर. तर यदि कृष्णले मटेरियल बडीको कुरा गरिरहनु भएको थियो भने वाइ वुड हि डिफिट द लजिक अफ अर्जुन related to body as foolish. अनि पछि गएर पनि यही श्लोका पछि पनि he will talk about soul को existence, soul को nature, characteristics. Why would he talk about that? So प्रभुपादले चाहिँ यही कुराहरूलाई पर्पटमा राख्नु भएको छ. This is such a nice purport. We can all read it together later on after this class as well. So very nice one. Okay.
I think we'll have to summarize a little bit after this one.
Therefore, individuality is maintained on spiritual ground and is thus confirmed by great acharyas like Sri Ramanuja and others. It is clearly mentioned in many places in the Gita that this spiritual individuality is understood by those who are devotees of the Lord. Those who are envious of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead have no bona fide access to the great literature. The non-devotee's approach to the teachings of Gita is something like that of a bee licking on the bottle of honey. One cannot have a taste of honey unless one opens the bottle. Similarly, the mysticism of the Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees and no one else can test it, as it is stated in the 4th chapter of the book. Nor can the Gita be touched by a person who envy the very existence of the Lord. Therefore, the Mayavadi explanation of the Gita is a most misleading presentation of the whole truth. Lord Chaitanya has forbidden us to read commentations made by the Mayavadis, and once that one who takes to such an understanding of Mayavada philosophy loses all power to understand the real mystery of the Gita. If individuality refers to the empirical universe, then there is no need of teaching by the Lord. The plurality of the individual soul and of the Lord is an eternal fact, and it is confirmed by the Vedas as above mentioned. So rest of the purport Master Prabhupada त्यही नै भन्नुभएको छ कि Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees, not by someone who is envious of Krishna.
Okay, so I'll just explain it as per the sloka. Okay, supporting. Okay, so isma चाहिँ हामीले main theme यो sloka को to summarize, it's a very important theme, which says we are all eternal individuals. It is not about this life, this body. It is about eternal individuality. Today we act as individual. After this body will also we be individual. Yeah. Now, यहाँ श्लोका पनि दिएको छ यो वर्समा कथा उपनिषद एन्ड श्वेता स्वतरा उपनिषदबाट नित्यो नित्यानाम eternally individual छौँ है. Another is okay, now यसमा refutation of Mayavadi theory पनि गरिएको छ. जस्तै मायावादीको theory के हो त? Individual soul is separated or broken from original consciousness by covering of Maya or illusion. हैन, त्यसले चाहिँ के अरे सेपरेट गरिएको हुन्छ. भनेर भनिएको छ. So again I'm repeating it, individual soul is separated or broken, right? Broken from the original consciousness by covering of Maya or illusion. तर अगेन भगवद् गीताकै पछिल्लो श्लोकहरूमा जस्तै भगवद् गीताको 2.13 2.23मा के भनिएको छ, न हन्नते हन्न माने शरीरे, or we know that soul is unbreakable, it cannot be broken down, right? So it is not killed, it is not broken, right? So that means अब त्यो ओरिजिनल कन्सियसनेसबाट ब्रेक भयो भन्न मिल्दैन, right? There another theory is after liberation the soul merges or dissolves homogeneously into impersonal Brahman and lose individual existence. Whereas हामीलाई थाहा छ एउटा श्लोक, कुन श्लोक, where it says soul लाई dissolve गर्न सकिदैन, हैन? कदाचित् नयं भूत्वा भविता न भूया अजो नित्यः शाश्वतो यं पुराणो न हन्नते हन्नमाने शरीरे. Okay, so BZ 2.23, I believe. We'll just read that verse as well. That's an important verse where it says, Na shoshati maruta, nainam chinnanti sastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam klidyantyaapo, na shoshati maruta. हैन, के भनेको छ त, सोल क्यान नट बी कट इन्टु पिसेस बाई एनी वेपन. तपाईँले काट्न, ब्रेक गर्न मिल्दैन, जलाउन मिल्दैन, पानीले भिजाउन मिल्दैन, हैन, न शोष्यति मारुतः, न चैनम क्लिद्यन्त्यापो, न शोष्यति मारुतः, एन्ड अल्सो मारुतः, विन्डले सुकाउन मिल्दैन. That means the fact where Mayavadis are telling that you, that soul merges or dissolves homogeneously into impersonal Brahman, it is being refuted later on in 2.24. Okay, next. Mayavadi also argue that individuality exists only in this conditioned state. Conditioned state भनेको जबसम्म सोल बडीमा छ, द्याट इज अ कन्डिसन स्टेट, होइन? अहिले जस्तो हाम्रो केसमा यसमा मात्रै इन्डिभिजुअलिटी हो, सोल निस्किँदा बित्तिकै सोल चाहिँ इन्डिभिजुअल होइन, बडीमा हुँदा चाहिँ इन्डिभिजुअल, हामी इन्डिभिजुअल भइयो, होइन? त्यस्तो पनि भन्छ. डज द मेक सेन्स टु यु? अहिले चाहिँ इन्डिभिजुअल छ, शरीरबाट निस्किँदापछि चाहिँ इन्डिभिजुअल रहँदैन, मर्ज हुन्छ. सो यसको रिपिटेसन कहाँ गएर आउँछ? वेन कृष्ण क्लियरली स्टेट्स द्याट, कृष्णले के भन्नुहुन्छ, individuality of the Lord and living entities for future also. यही श्लोक again,
फ्युचरमा पनि
नयं भूत्वा भविता न भूया न तो एवाहं जातु नासं न त्वं नेमे जनाधिपः न चैनं न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयम् अतः परम्. Right? There was never a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all the kings, nor in the future shall any one of us cease to be. So you, of course, यो बडीको फ्युचर मात्रै भन्नुभएको छैन उहाँले, किनकि पास्ट पनि भन्नुभएको छ नि त. पास्टमा नि हामी हैन एक्जिस्ट नगर्ने कुनै टाइम थिएन. So we always exist as individual, isn't it? Right? So
he's referring something beyond the body. Yeah, clearly soul भन्नुभएको छैन. You भन्नुभएको छ, but that's soul.
Okay, again, Mayavadis may argue individuality is material and not spiritual, right? It is completely material thing. It is not spiritual. Okay, now then how can one distinguish Krishna's individuality? Krishna confirms his individuality in past. उहाँ स्पिरिचुअल नै हुनुहुन्छ नि त. कृष्ण त मटेरियल होइन नि त. अब तपाईँले कृष्णलाई नै मटेरियल भन्नुहुन्छ भने त्यो भगवद् गीता पढेको, भगवद् गीतालाई सुप्रिम मानेको, के काम लाग्यो त नि, होइन? वी रेस्पेक्ट भगवद् गीता. They say that. Yeah, of course. अब यहाँ आउँछ त्यो कुरा. If Krishna is an ordinary conditioned soul, होइन, born of 4 defects, then Bhagavad Gita loses all its value. So what are the किन मान्ने? What are the 4 defects? भन त.
Illusion, अनि cheating propensity, illusion, अनि त्यसपछि
tendency to do mistakes, tendency. So 4 illusion जुन कि हाम्रो बडीमा अटोमेटिकली हुन्छ कि कसैले हाल्न पर्दैन, होइन? I mean त्यो सोलमा हुँदैन तर हाम्रो बडीमा हुन्छ. As soon as we get this body, we are prone to these 4 defects. So the defects are: number one, mistake. There's a verse as well. I mean, if we can verse also we can. I mean, let me check if I can, because this verse is important as well. Okay. Yeah, maybe you can explain the tendency to do mistakes. Yeah, go on.
Every one of us tends to do mistake.
Yeah,
सबैकोबाट हुन्छ
जस्तै
अनि दिस इज ध्रुव सत्य भने जस्तै होइन टेन्डेन्सी टु चिट पनि होइन इफ वी वान्ट टु फाइन्ड सम सर्ट मिडियम टु डु थिङ्स के चिट गर्ने प्रोपेन्सिटी पनि सबैमा हुन्छ इल्युजन हुने पनि हामी इल्युजनमा रहन्छौँ कतिपय कुराहरू हामी विम्सिकल्ली गरिरहन्छौँ जुन चाहिँ इन रियालिटी द्याट डजन्ट एक्जिस्ट रियालिटीमा अर्कै भइरहेको हुन्छ सो द्याट इज इल्युजरी प्रोपेन्सिटी अफ आवर्स र हामीसँग भएको इम्पर्फेक्ट सेन्सेस होइन यो कन्फ्युजन एरर हामीले गरेको कुरा केही पनि पर्फेक्ट हुँदैन हामीले सुनेको कुरा सबै पर्फेक्ट हुँदैन देखेको कुरा सबै पर्फेक्ट हुँदैन
Yeah, I just
These are
searching
the
for
four
this one.
tendencies.
So this is in
Defects.
Padma Puran, होइन Padma Puran को श्लोका हो यो. Again, whatever we speak, it's not, and we wouldn't like to share यतिकै पनि के. So Padma Puranमा 4 defects of conditioned soul भनिएको छ होइन. So it says Brahma Pramada Vipralipsa. Brahma Pramada Vipralipsa. Brahm, sorry, not Brahma, Brahm. Brahma means tendency to commit mistakes. Pramada means illusion. Vipralipsa means cheating propensity. And then Karana Patava Doshai. Karana Patava भनेको imperfect senses. Doshai, bad is false. Buddhi sarvasya jayate. Everyone's intelligence becomes affected by these 4 tendencies. Mistake. We all do mistakes too. Are is a human. होइन यो मिस्टेक भयो त्यो मिस्टेक भयो हाम्रो लाइफमै हाम्रो कति रिग्रेट छ 30 वर्षमा के मिस्टेक गरियो भने सो वी डु मिस्टेक्स कन्डिसन सोल इज स्योर टु कमिट मिस्टेक्स नयाँ कुरा होइन इल्युजन सोल इज अलवेज इल्युजन के एक्सेप्टिङ इम्पर्फेक्सन्स एन्ड रियालिटी होइन माया भनेको त्यो हो नि त माया भनेको के हो टु एक्सेप्ट विच इज नट होइन to accept which is not होइन जुन कुरा
Krishna is not
above this
doing उहाँको यो 4 डिफेक्ट्सहरू उहाँमा छैन उहाँको लाइफ हिस्ट्री पढ्ने हो भने छैन therefore he is not an ordinary person.
Even if he shows those tendencies, that is
there has a reason.
There is a reason, big reason if he's doing
the
that.
whole story पढ्नु पर्यो सिनारियो पढ्नु पर्यो एउटा दुईटा उहाँको लीलाहरू पढेर एकदमै इल्युजनमा बस्नु चाहिँ
and he has been glorified by big sages like Krishna Dwapayana, Vyasadeva, and then there are other as well. So tendency to cheat, and then the final one is imperfect senses. So third one is tendency to cheat. Cheating गर्ने tendency हुन्छ कि अब सानैदेखि अब exams, starting from exams that we give होइन चिट गर्नु मन लाग्छ चिट लगेर जाने आफूसँग चिट हेर्ने आफू अगाडिकोले पछाडिको हेर्ने पछाडिको अगाडि हेर्ने even within then there is a whole set of politics where everyone is cheating, saying one thing, doing another thing. Even in business, cheating propensity is there, right? So tendency to cheat. And the fourth one is imperfect senses. The senses of conditioned soul are imperfect. हाम्रो सेन्स होइन अलिकति तातो कुरालाई नर्मल तातो कुरालाई चिसो हातले छोयो भने हामीलाई त्यो पानी चाहिँ नर्मल लाग्छ के र चिसो हातले तातो पानीलाई छोयो भने पनि त्यो नर्मल लाग्छ. So the whole thing is imperfect senses. So these defects arise due to attachment to material existence and limitation to the senses. So okay, so yeah, Krishna is not an ordinary conditioned soul who is born of 4 defects. होइन यस्तो हो नि अन्त भगवत गीताको भ्यालु के त हामीले भगवत गीतालाई मान्नको कारण भनेको के हो बिकज we know Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Krishna is not a person or a soul inside some body. होइन Bhagavad Gita, when Bhagavad Gita was spoken, Vedavyas, who was reciting distinctly, when Dhritarashtra was speaking, Vedavyas said Dhritarashtra uvacha. When Arjuna was speaking, Arjuna uvacha. When Sanjay was speaking, Sanjay uvacha. But when Krishna spoke, very knowingly, Dhritarashtra knew Krishna is not an ordinary person. That's why he said Sri Bhagavan uvacha, right? उहाँले बुझेर भन्नुभयो, गणपति बाबा गणेशजीले बुझेर लेख्नुभयो. हि इज अगेन द्याट सर्ट अफ पर्सनालिटी. बुझेर लेख्नुभयो, बोल्ने पनि महान व्यक्ति हो, बुझेर लेख्ने पनि महान व्यक्ति हुनुहुन्छ गणेश. भगवान उवाच, भग प्लस वान, हु इज अबभ all these, who's perfect in all the six opulences, right? Now, another Mayavadi may argue is plurality mentioned in the verse refers to body, but यसको refutation कसरी गर्नुहुन्छ? But bodily conception condemned in the previous verse. Why would Lord place a conventional proposition on the body again? Body कै कुरा गर्न थियो भने त भगवद गीताको मिनिङै रहेन के. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is giving the same message that you are not this body, you are spiritual soul, right? So then in this verse again, Srila Prabhupada says, only a devotee can understand Bhagavad Gita and the concept of spiritual individuality. Who cannot understand? Who are envious of the Lord. Bhagavanko prati envious. So therefore there is a failure of Mayavad. So bees licking the bottle of the honey. Okay? So honey को बोतल छ, बीले चाहिँ बाहिरैबाट त्यो हनी खान मन छ र बाहिरबाट टेस्ट गरिरहेको छ. बी डज नट हेभ आइडिया वाट्स इनसाइड, भित्र के छ. द्याट इज द रियल स्टफ के, रियल कुरा नै त्यही हो कि होइन. सो चैतन्य महाप्रभु, who is considered as a golden avatar for Kali Yuga, clearly says he forbids us to read the most misleading Mayavad presentations in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so that's how we'll finish today's verse. And let me see if there is anything in surrender unto me. I mean, similar things. So the basic understanding of the difference of individual soul and his temporary body is further stressed in the next verse. So tomorrow in the next verse, we'll see how Krishna will be speaking about the Bhagavad Gita, about the individuality of soul, the nature of soul. होइन. सो त्यो हामीले चाहिँ अब भोलिको वर्समा पढ्ने नै छौँ. ओके, हरे कृष्ण.